Why is Paradox's DLC policy so controversial? Let's take a look.
DLCs have been crucial for the success of a lot of strategy games in general. One DLC that particularly got me hooked with the game is the Mount & Blade Viking DLC. The content of the DLC and the new features just brought the game to a whole new level. Specifically looking at Paradox games, they are no exception to this trend, and are probably the most DLC heavy in the strategy game niche. Paradox games have now been dominating the strategy game market for years, making map games for specific parts.
Can you name any other strategy game company that's still big on the market? Age of Empires was kind of a thing, but it's dying now. Total War, yeah. Creative Assembly, sure. Total War, yeah. Civ, yeah. Civ for people that have no girlfriends, yes.
My favourite game of
has grown a
theirs
lot
is
in the
Crusader
last
Kings
decade.
3, which focuses on the medieval part of humanity, and having a particular character-based element. But other games of theirs, like Hearts of Iron 4 and Europa Universalis 4, have also turned out to be incredibly popular. Just looking at some of the reviews as well, it's clear to me that most people agree that these games are good. The same, however, cannot be said unanimously for the popularity of DLCs in these games. Some of these DLCs have been absolutely hated by the fanbase, like Leviathan in Europa Universalis 4.
Isn't Leviathan the most negative product on Steam ever, or at least top 3 or something?
Other DLCs
ever, right?
had a mixed reception, like Roll Court in Crusader Kings 3. And finally, some of the DLCs have had a positive
mixed reviews,
reception,
whoa, wow.
like No Step Back.
It is the most hated ever?
4.
Oh.
So why are the fanbase happy with the base game?
Mixed reviews? Well, why? No Step Back was really good. What? Why?
We're
I
not
don't
so
see
happy
that.
with the DLC policy, and it is a little controversial to say the least. In this video, therefore, we discuss the positives.
Can I post a reaction
and
to this
negatives
video on
of
the main
Paradox
channel? Just asking right now to make sure.
And finally,
Sure, why not?
we'll talk about
Sure.
whether there's a way
Sure.
for Paradox to fix their DLC policy, and have Paradox already begun to change their ways. Also, at 100,000 subscribers, we will be doing an old meetup, so make sure to click that button to see this happen.
What a weird meme.
So firstly, let's start with the positives of the DLC policy. One argument for the DLC policy is that regular DLCs are needed to continue to improve the game over time. Using the example of Europa Universalis 4, it first came out in 2013, and it is completely unrecognisable compared to today. There is hardly any countries
yeah, as
in
you said, it's very
Africa and North
positive.
America, making nations outside of Europe almost unplayable. The mechanics are also a bit rusty, and there's a lot of imbalance in the game. Westernizing definitely hurt back in the day. Over time, however,
Time to change the map of Europe because no one will want it for the next 100 years.
the Paradox team have patched up EU4, leading to a
It's two people at this channel here, it's just the worst mic. The military put on my house.
Paradox have been able to add content and fix bugs
Jesus.
is because
You know, thank for the 500
the
bits.
influx
I don't
in
know,
cash
man.
from DLC
Making the pain is not on the menu right
and
now.
consequently, the game of Europa Universalis 4 can continue to increase its fan base and meet the demand.
The thing is, though,
an
but maybe you're
opposing
right.
example is
Maybe we
something
should
like
play
Fall
Ukraine.
Guys, which has fallen off a cliff since its release. A similar pattern to Europa Universalis 4 can be seen in both Hearts of Iron 4 and the Crusader Kings series. I personally love the DLCs of Crusader
Nah, the
Kings
AI
2.
in modern
The
day just sneaks you
DLCs
50
also
times in the
bring free
world, man.
updates, so you don't have to purchase the DLC in order for the game to evolve over time, giving you the choice of sticking to the base game or
He sounds like
purchasing the
a
DLC
Skyrim NPC,
to
I
have
think.
a better experience. An alternative to Paradox's DLC policy could be microtransactions, infecting almost all modern AAA games. A game like FIFA has pack openings, and
That is a really weird argument. That is so hella weird to me. You're comparing FIFA microtransactions with Paradox microtransactions? If I give you $5 and you give me 3 heavy tanks, you change the gameplay so massively it's unplayable. In FIFA, the money is involved in the Ultimate Team section, which is its own section that you don't have to even play.
encourages a form of gambling among players, so they can get the next Messi or Ronaldo card in Ultimate Team. It's almost impossible
Ronaldo is a
not to get the
97,
best
eh?
FIFA
Still,
cards if you
fuck
don't
me,
spend
dude.
money within the game. This obviously doesn't mean that Paradox's DLC policy is perfect in every way, but I think we can at least agree it's far better than some of the other practices of other gaming companies. Another quite nice touch of Paradox games is that you don't have to pay for DLCs in order to play them in multiplayer. And if one of your friends has
that
them,
is pretty sick.
you can play with
Yes,
your friends
we have to give a
and not
shout out
have
there to
pay
Paradox.
for
We never
any
did
of the
that. That is
DLC.
insane.
It therefore
You can literally
encourages
play
a
Horde for
community that does
multiplayer all day
multiplayer,
long without
and
ever
it's in
buying a
your
single
interest to
DLC.
play with other people.
That's insane, man. That's
So now
actually
we've
insane.
discussed the positives
Okay,
of
negatives.
the DLC. Let's now talk about the negatives of the DLC, and why it's such a controversial topic within the Paradox community. The first negative point is the sheer volume of DLCs Paradox have come up
Yeah, at some
with.
point you can't buy them anymore. I was just checking City Skylines and I wanted to buy everything and it was 270 euros. I'm like, fuck off, dude. It's like after a while you can't keep up with this
Before you
anymore.
open
It's too
Osiris
much.
4, there's currently 64 items of extra content for the game. If you wanted
Thank
to
you,
buy
Ilda
the
Maguire.
Ultimate Bundle, which includes the base game as well as the DLC, the price is currently £293 with 10% off. So that's a bit less than $400 overall. Having this amount of DLC leads to significant bugs and balancing problems after a while, with so much content packed into the game. A prime example of this is when Leviathan first came out. It was absolutely hated and became the worst rated product on Steam. This is because it broke E4 and made some of the new nations like Majapahit unplayable. One of the reasons the head developer gave for the amount of glitches within E4 Leviathan is because it's an old game with so much content packed into it, and therefore it's difficult to prevent bugs that pop up. We also saw...
Every time people talk, I want to tell the story, man, to raise some awareness. When I went to ParadoxCon 2019 or 18, I don't know, I was sitting in the audience, and a guy came on stage called Jonathan or something. What's his name? Johan. And on the internet, right, you're like, oh, fucking Johan, he destroyed Imperator, and then he made Leviathan. And he came to stage, and he was brutally honest. He came to stage in front of hundreds of people, and he said, I was in a dark place for what happened to my game. I worked very hard on this game, Imperator, and you guys hated it, and it really hit me pretty hard. Like, he talked about personal issues and stuff. And I just want to talk about this for a second to raise awareness that when we hate on games, there's always a human life behind that. Still, I believe, bro, it's your job, and if you fuck up at your job, you're gonna get in trouble on the internet. That's what happens in gaming. It's important to always stay objective there and just shit on the game and not the human behind, man.
a similar situation.
Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Sorry, I always say if you're on stream all day, real life is gonna happen on stream.
And you don't need them to gain the full experience of the game. Paradox games, on the other hand, certainly need DLCs.
Yes.
When we take E4 as an example, almost all aspects of the game are completely changed without DLCs.
Today's for streamers.
Combat to religions within the game. While it's good to have more content, and it means...
Sorry, I'm bored by this video. I can't watch anymore. Sorry, let's go to the next. Thank you, Misha, for that video.